Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to send this message. I would like to thank the multilateral dialogue of the Konrad Adenauer Foundation and the Atomic Reporters for hosting this event. The multiple postponements of the 10th NPT Review Conference due to the COVID-19 pandemic have been immensely frustrating, given the important role the treaty plays in international peace and security. While states parties work to find new dates following the latest postponement, events such as this, which focus on substance of the review conference, help remind all stakeholders that simply holding the conference is not the end of the process. States parties must work to ensure that when the review conference is held, it is meaningful and strengthened implementation of the NPT across all three of its pillars. From my perspective, there are numerous issues on which common ground can be expanded and divergences narrowed in order to achieve success. First, success will not be possible unless states parties move the needle on disarmament. Many states parties are concerned that previously agreed disarmament commitments remain unfulfilled. A successful review conference will need to examine how to accelerate implementation of these commitments. Second, the geostrategic landscape is very different than even in 2015. As relations between nuclear weapon states continue to sour while in parallel they improve their nuclear capabilities, the prospects of miscalculation and escalation have risen dramatically. The NPT is the only multilateral venue that can agree to urgently needed initiative to reduce the risk of a nuclear weapon being used. In particular, states parties need to increase focus on the burgeoning nexus between nuclear weapons and new domains and new weapon systems with strategic effect. The recent joint statement by the nuclear weapon states was a positive start in this direction and something that should be embraced and built upon at the review conference. Third, risk reduction is not enough. These measures should lay the groundwork for practical steps in disarmament, such as further reductions in arsenals, negotiations on the next generation of arms control measures, and the verification of nuclear disarmament. Fourth, the remarkable success of nuclear non-proliferation regime cannot be taken for granted. Emerging technologies threaten to expose loopholes in the safeguard system. There is still no consensus on what constitutes the safeguards standard. The Comprehensive Safeguards Agreement is still not universal. The conference should address and make progress on all these issues, and it must help ensure that IAEA is appropriately resourced, both in human and financial capital. Fifth, and finally, inclusivity has been a persistent theme for this review conference. There is a growing understanding that a wide variety of expert stakeholders and perspectives can be instrumental in producing a successful result. From civil society to industry to youth groups, each can add value to states parties' deliberation. It should go without saying that equal representation of women and men at the review conference and an enhanced role for women in leadership positions would also be beneficial to success. No matter when it is held, success at the 10th Review Conference would depend on states parties' willingness to engage openly, negotiate in good faith, and display flexibility. I will continue to encourage all stakeholders to support such endeavors. I thank you very much for your attention.